My website is on. I'm getting good views on the blog. I think it's time I start my own YouTube channel. Oh, you guys are already here just when I said it. What are we waiting for then? Let's start. You probably know someone who swears by using nitrogen in their tires. Okay, they think regular air is used by peasant bikers and their special beauties deserve special nitrogen. I used to be one of those guys. Okay, I've spent a lot of money putting nitrogen in my tires all the time, almost every other week, because I wanted to get all the benefits out of it. But over time, I've realized that maybe that wasn't the best move because nitrogen doesn't really make a difference to real world riders. Yes, it may work for some riders who take their bikes on the tracks or where they push their limits. Otherwise, for people like you and me who ride on regular roads or go for chai pakoda rides or tours, nitrogen doesn't really make a difference. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you why I thought nitrogen was better than air and why I don't think so anymore. So one of the first reasons why I chose nitrogen over regular air was because I thought it lasted longer in my tires. This comes from the fact that I thought nitrogen molecules, since they are bigger than air, would last longer in the tires because they would take longer to push out. Air leaves tires in two ways. One is from the tiny pores in the tires itself, and the other one is through the gap between the wheel and the tires. Obviously, anyone would think, who is especially someone who's not good at chemistry, that nitrogen will take some time to get through it. But my friend, who is actually a chemist, told me that that is not the case. Nitrogen or regular air leave the tires at almost the same rate and you won't feel the difference at all in real world. Even if that was the case, let's say that is the case, air still has 78% nitrogen. So any difference that we are talking about are very small differences, and in real world, again, for real world bikers, it won't make a difference at all. One of the reasons why I thought nitrogen lasted longer in my tires is because nitrogen machines or those shops are usually higher end. They charge a premium, so their machines are expensive and they maintain it well. On the other hand, all the tire walas around us, they usually don't maintain their machines well and they are not well calibrated, which may make a difference in how much PSI they're actually putting in your tires. So yeah, if a nitrogen guy says that he's putting 32, there's a high chance he's putting somewhere around 31 or 32. But with regular air, they might be putting somewhere around 27 to 28, which over time made me feel like I'm losing a lot of air. But in reality, I was just losing same amount of air. So yeah, the first reason does not hold up. If you want longer intervals between your refills, nitrogen is not your solution. If you are losing your air too quickly, like let's say 3-4 days, you need to check your tires. There might be a puncture, there might be a bend in the rim which is causing the air to leak out, or the valve itself must be damaged. The second reason why nitrogen is preferred over regular air is because they say that nitrogen does not expand as much as air when it gets heated up, which is what tires do when they run for a long time. So if you ride your bike for 2 hours straight on the highway, you will feel a difference in the pressure. This is because all air expands when they get heated up. That is the Charles law. But here's the thing. Air, again, I'm going to repeat this point all the time because I think it makes a lot of sense. Air has 78% nitrogen. So the difference between how much nitrogen will expand and how much regular air will expand is not so much. In real world, you're not going to feel the difference. After 2 hours of ride, let's say your regular air rises by 3 psi, nitrogen will rise by 2.7 psi, and I don't think it is noticeable at all. Where I think this point makes sense is if you are riding your bike on the track, where if you are tuned in with your bike and you know exactly how much PSI you want, using nitrogen would be beneficial because it will give you just that bit of an advantage. Otherwise, in real world, again, nitrogen will not make a difference in how much tire pressure variations occur in your tire. It's almost the same as regular air. So now on to the third one, and I think this one is a little stupid. I'm sorry if I offend you guys, but this is the truth. If you just sit for 2 minutes and think about it, it will make sense to you. The third point why people choose nitrogen over regular air is because they think it improves their tire life. How? Air contains moisture, nitrogen does not contain any moisture, and moisture can corrode the tires over time. They can also corrode the wheels, they think, and if given enough time, moisture will also damage the steel reinforced belts in the tires if your tires have them. But yes, I agree to these points. Moisture will do those things, some of those things actually, I'll explain. Yes, moisture will still do those things, but it will take a long time for moisture to actually do that damage where it is noticeable enough. And there's a high chance you will actually run your tires bald before you even notice your first sign of moisture damage on the tires. Also, if you think moisture is going to corrode your wheels, dude, they are alloys. They cannot be damaged by moisture. If they can handle rain, they can handle some tiny molecules of moisture in the tire. Nothing is going to happen. So yeah, that is the third point, which I think is kind of, told you, it's kind of stupid. But yeah, if you think about it, it makes sense on why nitrogen in this regard does not make any difference at all. It does not matter if you are riding an old Bajaj Chetak with nitrogen or a Ducati Panigale V4 with nitrogen. Your tires are not going to get damaged by air at all. Unless you obviously keep the tires long for 10 years. In that case, would nitrogen make sense? Actually, I didn't think about this. Let me know in the comment below, what do you think? What about long-term storage? Would you prefer nitrogen or regular air? So the fourth reason why people prefer using nitrogen over regular air in their tires is because they think it will improve their bike's fuel economy. It doesn't really make sense. Where does this notion come from? Well, people used to think that since nitrogen is lighter than regular air, it would offer lower rolling resistance to the tires, which will improve the fuel economy. Logically, it makes sense, but theoretically, that's not the case. In 2008, ExxonMobil conducted a study that proved that nitrogen or regular air, they don't make a difference on the tire's rolling resistance or subsequent fuel economy. So yeah, nitrogen is not going to improve your bike's fuel economy. If you actually want to improve the fuel economy, make sure you always put the right PSI in your tires every time. Okay, on every ride, make sure it is as recommended. It can be 32 in the back, 28 in the front, or whatever your manufacturer recommends. That is calculated to give you the best performance and the best fuel economy. So stick to that. If your PSI is sorted, you don't have to worry about putting helium, nitrogen, oxygen, whatever air molecules you can come up with in your tires. Okay, just use regular air. So yeah guys, what air you put does not really matter in your tires rolling resistance or your bike's performance or fuel economy or whatever things people claim these days. Just use regular air. It's better, it's cheaper. And the 200 rupees that you will save, go and eat vada pavs or momos. This is what I like to do. I love momos, and once I finish this video, I'm gonna go eat momos again. But yeah, do it. Just stick to regular air. What do? I just stick to this one. It solves most of my problem. This is an MI air compressor. I got this for around 2,300 rupees if I remember correctly. It's portable, it's chargeable, and it usually lasts me for a month with a single charge. So I don't see anything that is wrong with this. There are obviously some other options, some that may be better than this, some that may be cheaper than this. Find out what works for you and choose one. This one works for me perfectly, so I stick to this one. Seriously, this is one of the best investments I have made in my riding career, and I think you should too. These are calibrated, these are reliable. You don't need to worry about taking your bike every morning to the petrol pump, and you don't have to wait in the petrol pump's long queues. Just do it at home. How long does it take? It takes me 10 minutes to fill tire air with this, even if the PSI is at 20. So I always use this. Hey guys, this is Ayush Rathod. This is my YouTube channel, The Blue Biker. Thank you for listening. This was my first video. Technically it was my second video, but the first one was an epic fail. So let's stick to this one, right? Don't give me a hard time about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like and hit subscribe. You can also check out my Instagram at the Blue Biker. I will leave a link to it in the description, and you can also check out my website, thebluebiker.com. Link in the description. Thank you so much. See you guys soon. Cheers. Keep the shiny side up and ride safe.